Hi everyone, this is GOL from Productions², and back to continue our Developers Vlog Series 4 for Space Crusade. The date is February 13th. And last time we left off, we were working on, or just about to start working on, the weapons spread system. But I ended up stopping the video just before we started working on it. Once this is done, I think we'll have a huge core of the game built. Obviously, the battle processing kind of thing is the main, like the heart of the game, essentially. So, you could say that this exercise I'm doing is a process by which I'm going to be building a possibly playable version of the game of 0.5. Possibly. Not saying I will, but it's going to be angling towards that because we'll have a lot more of the things done. I certainly have done a lot more work, a lot more progress on the game than I have in the past several updates, that's for sure. But right now we need to figure out how to do our spreads. So I've been kind of going over about how we should accomplish this, and I'm thinking that what we'll do is we'll use the B continue that I made last time. I said that I'll just keep it around in case we need it for something. Well, we're gonna go and use it now. Yeah. What's gonna happen is that we're gonna have a while loop, and while this while loop is going, the game will continually ask you for weapons to put into a spread until either you run out of weapons, you tell it to stop, or you run out of hard point spaces, which again would be along with the weapons. So the main thing is that you can have weapon spreads that don't use every weapon or that do. It's up to you. It's up to your own creativity and your knowledge of whatever types of enemies you're likely to be facing are as far as how you build these and how you use them to your advantage. So we're gonna go with a while loop here, and what we're gonna do is like what we did with the participation, and that is that the spread vectors will store slot numbers and the weapon types for those slot numbers. So for example, if you wanted to build a weapon spread that had missiles first to take down shields and then lasers to cut through armor, you would maybe put missile turret slot 1, or missile turret slot 1, missile turret slot 3, then missile turret slot 2. Let's say that 1 and 3 both. Let's say that 1 is a EMP missile, and that 2 is a armor-piercing missile, and that 3 is a area of effect type of missile where it hits large areas of the ship and does massive damage that way. And then you have lasers that are both armor-piercing and hull damaging. And then you put those as on the 4th and 5th slots as laser slot 1 and laser slot 2. So the missiles would fire and then the lasers would fire, and you do the maximum amount of damage possible with your weapon setup. The one problem with this is that anytime you change the weapon loadout, the weapon spreads have to be unloaded because they won't be valid anymore. As far as the constraints of what weapons are equipped at any given point in time. So I'll have to figure out a way to keep track of that. Or add in a function that when the player chooses to change their weapons, it loads that function, and the function removes everything from the spreads. And notifies the player, obviously, that that's happened. But for now, we need to figure out how we're going to actually accomplish this. So what I think we want to do is we want to cycle through the vectors that have the weapons, and print out the weapon information, and then ask the player if they want to use this the current weapon inside of a spread. In the spread that's being created. And if they say yes, add that to the spread to continue. If no, continue anyway. What I want to do though is I want to create a way in which the player gets to choose which weapon to add. So in other words, you don't have to cycle through all the laser weapons and all the missile weapons to get to the bombs, or laser to get to missiles. You can choose the type of weapon you want to select, and then you cycle through the weapons you currently have of that type. That's what I'm thinking of doing. So we would have to have a multi-tiered switch system, along with probably a for loop at the end of each one of the different branches. We also have to have a way to track and make sure that we don't add the same weapon twice. So first we need to make the menu, so we'll say MP for menu processing. So it's going to be ship weapon spread selection. And we need to create a way in which we can pass through the size of the vectors that contain the different hardpoint types, or weapon types. Well, it'll be hardpoint types, because then those contain the weapons. And then that way, use that to eliminate menu choices that are not available because you don't have weapons of that type. In other words, if you don't have railgun weapons, you don't have the option to use railgun weapons in a weapon spread. Instead of just saying, okay, you can choose it, but then we're going to tell you, oh, you don't have any of those weapons. Just not even give them the option in the first place. For that, though, we'd have to pass through those variables. Or pass through the values, I mean. The problem comes when trying to, well, I guess it wouldn't be, damn it, I hit one of these cheat keys. I guess it wouldn't be that bad, or no worse than some of the other ones we've done, so we'll go ahead and do that. So we need to first create this message processing. Let's see, I need another one. Let's see, ship function, ship messages, or ship menus. Int ship weapon spread selection. So we're going to say int lasers, int missiles, int bombs. Well, no, bombs won't be included, that's right. Int bombs are only for planet bombing. That's right. So I decided last time. Int rail, I'll say rails, int heavies. So, let's move these up here so I can work on them directly. So back here, we need to add this to, oh no, we don't have to add it, actually goes to there, but we do have to add our calls here. So, crap, what did I name them as? Oh, just L. No, those are the numbers. We want the actual vectors. Just so what they were before. Beholds, blah blah blah, missile turrets, arm mounts, heavy base. No, I am missing one. No, let me see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. No, I guess that's right. 5. 3 and then 2 extra ones. So laser banks, missile turrets, R mounts, and HW bays. So L banks dot size, M turrets dot size, R mounts dot size, and heavy weapon bays dot size. Okay. MP is not a declared identifier. Let's see. Is that the case? Why, yes it is. We don't even have that in here. Well, we need to add it then. SG proc.h. What the hell? And then MSG proc equal MSG proc MP. Alright, so now we get that in there. So we call that, and then we have that equal p choice, of course. Alright, so back over here, let's add this down here. Actually, we already did add it, didn't we? Interesting. Let's change this to this one then, instead of what we had. Yes, this one. Of course, that'll be back in Battle Proc, I think, where we had called that. No, we didn't call it. We were creating it to call it, but we're going to change how that works now. How that's called for. So back over here. We'll need to create a p-choice variable. Okay, so alright, so now we need to make sure that we have these set up properly. So if lasers is less than 1 or greater than is greater than 0, if missiles is greater than 0, if rails greater than 0, if heavy is greater than 0. So if p-choice and lasers greater than 0, I said this part's going to be messy, but there's no escaping that with the way this is set up. Heavy is greater than 0. So if P choice is greater than 1 or less than 4, or less than 1 or greater than 4, and well, no, this part we'll add differently. This part actually is the way it should be, but we need to add in a different ones for these to make count for this new additions. Else if P choice is greater than 1 or P choice is less than or equal to 4. Should let's see, greater or equal to or less than or equal to, and then add this. And this just says that if it's within this range, now we gotta do more specific. That's not gonna work well. It's gonna have to be a 1-for-1 system, in other words. So if P choice equals 1, then lasers has to be higher than 0. So it has to be done this way. It really sucks, but it's just what has to be done. Else if P choice equals 2, and then missiles is greater than 0, else if P choice equals 3, and then rails 0 or greater than 0, else if P choice equals 4 and heavies is greater than 0. And actually it should be less than, or if it's less than 1. Because we're trying to catch issues, not correct things here. Alright, so one problem though. Let me see, message. Available, we'll say. We'll change that to be available so that we don't have to add another message for that. Now we also need to make sure though, let's take this off here and just say if. Because if you choose something and it's, like if you do 1 and it chooses 2 for you because it's the first available supposedly, then it should go through and check the next one. So if P choice is 2 and missiles is less than 0, again, then you go through and then you make sure that each individual one actually has a weapon for it. Again, messy but necessary. So 2, 3, 4, and then we'll put 0. And we'll have to have a case to catch that, though. There's a problem, though. What we'll do is we'll make sure that there's actually, before we send it, that they actually have weapons installed. So the question is how to deal with this one, because there's nothing after it to validate it, so you could potentially cause a bug that way. If you put this in a while loop, while invalid, that would work if we put this as 1. However, I guess if you chose 2 and you bypassed 1, that would work that way. Or chose 4 to bypass everything else. So let's go ahead and do that while invalid, because we're going to have something here to cycle through to make sure that the weapon is actually there to use. While not valid. There's some also have to add to these one line. Actually, we'll do an else. No. So how do we do this now? We have to make sure that's all validated up, but then we need to figure out a way to break the loop. Only after it's been validated, though. So that's another problem now, because we want to go through each one of these just to make sure. But when it is validated, we need to break this loop. So how do we do that, though? So I guess maybe we could just say else if p choice equals equals so we can just do it this way, because if this if statement fails, then that means that later is either equal to 1 or greater than 1. And so this would be correct. So I think that's just what we all have to do. Valid equals true. Is there actually a valid? Do I already have a valid? I do, don't I? Wow, I didn't even know I had that there. Cool. Let's make sure we change it to valid equals false. Because even if it is valid, a valid response here, we still need to go through and check it. So it's kind of a dirty hack to get it to work that way. We need to add this to each one of these. Alright. And that'll break us out of the loop. And actually this we wouldn't need, because we want to make sure doing it in a different way than that, because even if we had those, we'd have to say that we have to put a and statements for like I had before, and that's I think it's gonna make a mess here, even if it wouldn't. We do however want to add some counts. Just so that if it goes through multiple times, it won't start cluttering up the view window with stuff. This will be a really large area that I'm going to be examining for bugs, though, or improper behavior, because if it's going to happen anywhere, it's going to happen here, and it's going to be bad if it happens there. So I'll create a infinite loop. But we'll see. And again, we're going to make sure that you won't be able to go through this if you don't have any weapons installed, period. I think the way we'll accomplish that is by using the these point things here. We'll use these in determining that. So if I said L hard. Let's see. Yeah, L M B R H points. So if L H points, or I have to do a double nested thing here. Or if LH points equals or is less than 1, we'll say. RH points less than 1. Did I say H or HH or just HWH, or how did I define that? Just HH, okay. So our message, or mp.m our message 27. Alright, so we got that there. Let's go and add in the 27th message real quick. Oops. Hit insert going there. Alright, comma there. This ship has no weapons installed. cannot continue. Alright. Now, go back to ship. Okay, so, P-choice. I did have a 0. Let me check and make sure what that was for again. Oh, no, sorry, we decided not to have that, so it's going to be a value. So, case 1 is going to be for laser weapons, and so we need to do a for loop for those. Case 2, just going to put them all in here first. Case 3, case 4, and that's the only possible returns to be sent back, so we don't have to worry about putting in a default, even though you probably should. I don't think it's going to be necessarily required in this case, since we're only returning either 1, 2, 3, or 4, and only those can be returned, thanks to the while loop we set in there. So, so let's see, hardpoint. .h. So get slot and get weapon type. And weapon type is only well, yeah, weapon type's only part of the hardpoint function or class. Everything else we'll put the weapon type in manually as the weapons are added. May not be the best solution, but it keeps the class sizes down to a minimum. So, for I equals 0, I is less than lbanks dot size, I plus plus. Okay, so now we need to cycle through the items and to print out the information. We have actually a function that does that, but it's part of the station class. That's mission info. Where are you? Yeah, S item. No, choose an item. Where are you? I know you're here. So this is it right here, I think. Yeah, here we go. SMI station menu item info. Now, what we want to do is we want to go ahead and just kind of take this information here and we want to distill it down to what we're going to be using it for in a new class. Because we need to have, there are certain things that are needed for that are not needed for this one. So we want to return a care, I believe, this time. Ship weapon spread or ship weapon selection. We'll do this time. And we will not well, let's see. We need to pass what do we need to pass? I guess we need to pass. Maybe we'll just pass a pointer to that specific weapon. That'd probably be the easiest thing to do. Or reference, even. To the weapon with that hard point. So, weapon. Let's do a pointer. I think, do we have weapon in there? No, we'll have to add it then. Include. Oops. But no, it has to. Well, it would have to be. Damn, this is gonna be annoying. Maybe we'll have to have one for each class type, weapon class type, because there's no way to send a pointer easily with the way I have the code done for a subclass of the superclass like this. It would try to read it as a weapon class instead of laser or missile, which wouldn't work. Even though the weapon class is inherited. Select laser weapon, ship laser weapon selection, care ship missile weapon selection. But we'll do it in such a way that it'll be just type in specific, because we'll just be able to use weapon and we'll just be able to copy the code. It's not the perfect solution, but it's the only solution I have at the moment until I figure out how we can do that correctly. B W selection, or no, we won't use bombs and weapons. Weapon spreads. Rail weapon selection. Care S H weapon selection. Heavy weapon. Okay, so back down here, we'll copy that. Well, no, there'll be different functions. True, that's using the data system. This is going to be using the weapon functions themselves. Include weapon.h, so we won't be able to use that one after all. So down here, let's see, care, MSG proc, ship laser weapon selection. Laser weapon. So, count weapon name count, weapon, damage range, damage low, weapon, min, max, range, weapon gets high, high, and L. What other information do we need other than that? I guess the damage type, count, weapon, string. Okay, damage type. So the name, the range, minimum, the minimax, and also minimax optimum range, the damage range, and the weapon damage type. What else? What else? I think that's all we need for now. Then we do count and L. Count. Do you want to use this weapon in your weapon spread? Count. Yes. Or no. So we need to do a P. I did do a P character choice. PC choice. So that's what we want to use there. P C choice. Okay, then I'm going to make sure that we have if PC choice equals yes, or if PC choice does not equal y, so if it doesn't equal anything here, mr message 5, and we're going to default to no this time instead of yes. Or maybe we have one that says canceling. Let's see, what's please let's see. I just want a new one then. We are sorry that choice is not valid. Canceling weapon spread. Cancel weapon selection. So canceling weapon selection. That'll be 28 for that, but 27 for the actual R message. Return. No. Else. Return PC choice. Now we could just say now, not add the else there, but I want to make sure that it's either this, it's either these are correct or it's not. So back at ship, we say, we have to call that first, so PC choice equals mp dot ship laser weapon selection. Let's add the variable for that. Char PC choice. So now if PC choice equals yes, or PC choice equals yes, we will add it. Else if or I just won't do that, because if it's no, we'll just go on to the next one. The next weapon. Yes. Let's say lbanks dot at I dot get weapon. And what weapon is going to do, which we'll add over here, to weapon.h. Really? Okay, it's just IntelliSense being stupid again. I was gonna say, I thought that would work. So now what we want to do over here is add this down here to the bottom of weapon. So weapon, get weapon, return this. Alright, so that's how that works. And so what we'll do is we'll take the weapon that we're currently having that in the vector, grab a pointer of it, and then send that on to the message proc. Instead of having to go to that's right, we have to go one more dot HP weapon. Laser weapon, lbanks. Argument type of weapon is incompatible with laser. Go to definition. What are you talking about? What was the lbanks hardpoint? L. Laser HP weapon. Again, I wonder if it's just IntelliSense being stupid or something. Let's see. Laser weapon. Oh, I see. Weapon. Damn. So this is one thing that we have to add in. Okay, I see. We have to add this into each different weapon. It can't be inherited. Damn. Alright, well. Easy enough to fix. Defenses, heavy, And rail. Damage IO high? What the hell does that stand for? I don't remember what that is for. Heavies. Intensity, I see. So intensity though. I wonder what. I don't know, that's weird. I'll have to try and figure out what I was trying to go with that. What I was aiming for with that. Maybe it's a thing that increases the amount of damage. Some kind of setting with that. Since heavy weapons. Anyway, we want to go to each of these now and add in our function call here. I don't know, we don't need, well, I suppose we could have spreads for bombs, but we'll add those later and later. Right now we're focusing on ship battles, not planet battles. Defense, heavy weapons. And rail. That should fix this up now. Yeah, there we go. I guess it should work. Now I have to figure out why. Now I do. So you get the pointer to the weapon and you send it through. Message proc does its thing. Not sure we can do, since we're already doing it breaking, that's already broke it down by, the hell am I thinking? We already broke it down by weapon type, so we can put whatever information that's unique to each weapon into there as we please. So now all we have to do is just do a copy paste and do it 4 more times, or 3 more. Eventually we'll have to do it 4, but 3 for now. Change this to missile. M, weapon selection. R, weapon selection, rail. Then heavy. Okay. We'll add those to here as well. Actually, we already do have them. Okay, good. Thought ahead with that. So now we need to